I rise to talk about the constitutionality of this law. I've had the privilege to serve on 2 committees, hearings on this bill. I've raised these concerns with a genuine concern about the fact that this law is blatantly unconstitutional. My legal judgment has been questioned on that publicly by some people, but I'm pretty confident in my legal skills after all these years to know what's a constitutional bill and what is not. It's something I'm asked. And this bill is blatantly unconstitutional, and I stress and I impress upon the majority party over there, please reconsider this bill. If you're genuinely concerned about public safety, like the concerns raised by Assemblywoman just recently, she's talking about something that's going on her street. That story I hear from so many constituents right now. That's the public safety issue that is marinating throughout our districts. People do not feel safe in their homes anymore. People do not feel safe in their communities anymore. It doesn't matter if it's a high crime community or not. We're all becoming high crime communities. And that's the type of bill that needs to be fast-tracked. Not this of such significance. We're talking about the Second Amendment, and I've said it twice. I've said it in both of my committee meetings. I do not intend to carry a gun. I never intend to carry a gun. However, at my core, this bill violates the freedoms that we were all given by our founding fathers. The Second Amendment is one of the core. It's not the first, it's the second of many. And that's because it's so important for us to have that right to self-defense. And the fact that we're just ignoring it in this way, we're treating it with such short shrift. I'm amazed to be standing here to say that we're going to just push this through. I talk about in committee, Mr. Speaker, about the fact we do have the New York case law coming out. And it's telling you what we all would know. I did even make the comment, I'm assuming that this is going to be a question on a lot of law school exams. So for your law students out there, get ready. Because you could take this law violates so much about the Constitution. We talk about, my question was asked and never answered in a way that would pass constitutional muster. And that is, where can you conceal carry under this bill? The answer I get is, well, not under these listed areas that are sensitive places. The fact that the United States Supreme Court said that we could define sensitive places to restrict a Second Amendment right doesn't mean you have to render the entire state of New Jersey a gun-free zone. That's not what that meant. And they're going to tell you that. The courts are going to tell you that when they get that opportunity. Which brings me to my second point. We talk about affordability a lot around here. We're talking about spending a lot of money right now on this bill. They're going to challenge it. It's going to get challenged. We're going to end up paying probably attorney fees for someone. I mean, you're talking about we want to protect the residents. We're thinking about the residents. You're not thinking about the residents if you're ready to spend all their money defending a bill that we all know is not constitutional. I've offered my services. Again, always saying I'm probably still going to vote no. Right, Assemblywoman Danielson? I said I'll vote no, but I'm here to help. And no one has called me to help to try to make this law closer to pass constitutional muster. No one. So all I can do here is stand up and ask you again to reconsider, to think about the fact that we're going to render the entire state of New Jersey a place where you cannot exercise your Second Amendment right to protect yourself. I ask you to think about the obstacles, the cost associated with exercising your right under the Second Amendment in this state. We had at the last committee, Mr. Speaker, we had someone who spoke on behalf of a group that helps people with domestic violence, helping women who are dealing with the aftermath of that. He talked about doing a survey and asking those people what do they think about this? Do they want to exercise their right? Because they wanted to get a sense if they should start raising money for that purpose because of the training costs, because of the insurance costs, because of the permitting costs. And in this amendment that we talked about last judiciary raises those costs. We talked about those things, and he said over 60% of the people that they service do want to exercise their right. You know why? They want peace of mind in their homes. So we're talking about a whole group of people that we're not listening to. I've been accused of being tone deaf on this issue. So I've had my legal capacity questioned for rising up and talking in favor of the Second Amendment. I've also been talked about being tone deaf. Mr. Speaker, our inboxes are filled daily with emails from our constituents telling us to vote no on this bill. The citizens of this state are offended by this continuation of infringing upon our personal freedoms and our willingness to do so. Again, this is not a bill that has taken 6 months, a year, 2 years to go about and think about and consider and bring it. This is a bill that's been fast-tracked. Meanwhile, we have tons of bills on this side of the aisle around car thefts that can't get a day, I'll say in court, a day in this House, Mr. Speaker. And that demonstrates to me and our constituents that we're being tone deaf to their concerns. This is not a bill that will pass constitutional muster. This is not a bill that's going to address public safety, and it's disingenuous for anyone on that side of the aisle to say so. I understand we're scared about guns. I get it. Again, I'm someone who says, I am not going to carry a gun. I'm not going to allow a gun to be in my house, concealed carry. But that doesn't mean we just throw the Constitution out and we ignore it. So I ask again, Mr. Speaker, please table this bill, put it off to the side, shelf it. It's not a formal motion to table, Mr. Speaker, but let's shelve it. Let's do better. New Jerseyans deserve us to do better. And I'm here to help us do better on issues like this. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.